Hi there. Wish you could come with us. Today we're trail biking, and what a great day we've got for it. We're the First Presbyterian venturing crew. And, I need a little more air in this tire. So, I understand you're starting a new venturing crew. That's great. You're going to enjoy it. You know, this is what we aim for. We've got an exciting venturing program and lots of involvement. What a great trip. This bike trip is just one of the activities we've got planned for the next few months. So, you might be wondering how you get a crew like this up and running. Well, the first step, in my mind, is to envision the outcome of all your work, like this bike trip. Before long, your crew will be engaged in all sorts of fun and meaningful activities, just like our crew is today. Keep that in mind. You will get there. Step 2 in my book is to make sure you don't start out with a deflated tire. You've got to be organized to launch a crew successfully. It's not hard, but it means paying attention to some important details, which include pumping life into your program. We'll get to that in a minute. Some of you might be interested in knowing a little more about the venturing program. After all, it is quite new. Well, it's a youth development program of the Boy Scouts of America. And it's for young men and women who are 14 and have completed the 8th grade through 20 years of age. The main purpose of venturing is to provide positive experiences to help young people mature and to prepare them to be responsible and caring adults. Venturing units are called crews. These are groups of people working and playing together. Crews can specialize, if they want, in a particular interest. There are crews, for example, that are focused on scuba diving, religions, drama, sailing, you name it. Crews engage in a wide variety of fun activities. But while venturing crews can be very different from each other, their programs all emphasize 6 experience areas: citizenship, leadership, fitness, social, outdoor, and service. Experience has shown that when crews use these 6 experience areas for variety, they have more active venturers and the program prospers. Venturing is ideal for youth of this age because they have a strong desire to be part of a group, doing things together. They really enjoy working toward a common goal. We know that youth also want to reach out for responsibility and have input into shaping their own programs and lives. That's why venturing has adopted democratic processes that allow youth to fully participate in decisions and elect their peers to leadership positions. And that's why we have an exciting advancement program, because young people like to test themselves to achieve personal goals and to be recognized for their achievements. So, how can your team pull together a successful venturing crew? Well, in our case, the organizing committee began by selecting an adult volunteer to be the crew advisor. Just happened to be me. As the advisor, I'm responsible for attending crew meetings, training youth officers to plan and coordinate the program, helping youth plan and implement activities, and conducting program capability inventory. I'll talk about that in a minute. We also put together a crew committee composed of adult volunteers. Tell you what, let me introduce you to our crew committee. When we first started out our crew, we held a meeting of key adults from the church and other adults who were interested in serving as members of the crew committee. This is David, who serves as the chair of our committee. He conducts monthly committee meetings and coordinates crew efforts. And this is Karen, our treasurer. We also have a youth treasurer, John, who Karen advises on maintaining the crew's funds. She also assists with fundraising activities. Let me see if I can find some of our other committee members. Oh yeah, over there are Brian and Janice and Bob. We have a few other adult members who couldn't make the bike trip with us today. When we first met, we laid out a 3-month program for our crew. This entailed selecting program activities for each scheduled crew meeting. Later on, the youth become very active in creating the crew's program. But when you're just getting started, that responsibility is yours. After all, you need some program to attract youth.
Hey Mike, can you help me fix my brakes?
Yeah, sure. Okay. Then comes one of the really fun parts, the first nighter. That's what they call your first crew meeting. It's your first chance to invite youth to find out what it's all about. You'll get a lot of guidance in planning and implementing your first nighter. We had a great time at ours, and we signed up 21 youth that first evening. Now we have nearly 30. The first 3 months of a crew's life is really exciting. That's when the crew elects its first officers and critiques the first month's activities. The new youth officers have the opportunity to go through a training seminar that will help them be effective leaders for their crew. This is also when the crew reviews and adopts the crew program for the rest of the year. Let's see. There, I think that ought to do it.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Let's see. What else can you do to get your crew up running successfully? Oh yeah, one thing that really helps. I conducted a program capabilities inventory. As the advisor, that was one of my key responsibilities. Now this is an inventory of information about adults who are related to the charter organization and parents who are willing to provide program help to the crew. We inventoried their hobbies, special skills, career knowledge, contacts, facilities, and ideas. Then we surveyed our youth members to find out what they wanted to do. This was called an activity interest survey. Guess what? One of the things that showed up was a bike trip through the hills. And here we are. But here's a tip. The bike trip wasn't on our survey. The idea came up while we were brainstorming with our officers about ideas they had that we hadn't even thought of. Brainstorming program ideas is a great way to boost participation and make sure the crew is serving the needs of its members. Of course, you need to support ideas with resources to really have a program. So what we did is, we compiled our survey results and matched them up against our program capability inventory. Where there was a match, we had the basis for a possible program. And if there were ideas that didn't have a match, we went out to find new resources to support them. In our case, it turned out a parent of one of our members owned a bike shop. So we could get bikes for all the members who didn't have one.
Okay, everybody, let's get ready to go. Over here.
Just a couple more points before we're out of here. Remember those 6 experience areas I mentioned? Social, leadership, fitness, service, outdoor, and citizenship? Well, you need to make sure that the program activities are balanced and include those 6 experience areas. So fill in the gaps. No single activity has to address all 6, of course, but sometimes, like with this excursion, you can address several at once. Also, schedule activities for a 12-month period and be aware of potential conflicts with other community activities to avoid cancellations. Promote all activities well in advance. Produce a crew newsletter and calendar so crew members and their parents can plan.
Let's get moving, everybody. We've got a lot of ground to cover.
Select a youth chairperson for each activity and an adult consultant from the program capability inventory. Brad is our activity chairperson for this bike trip, and Karen, who you met earlier, is the adult consultant. She owns the bike shop and is a really experienced trail biker. She's been a big help and actually pointed us to this trail system. Oh, one last point. It's a good idea to monitor the program's progress. You know, keep tabs on it as it develops to make sure it's meeting everybody's needs and expectations. Well, this is our program in action. You'll get there too. Just make sure you keep envisioning what it's all about and systematically accomplish your startup agenda. I've got to go, but stick around for a quick review of the 9 steps that'll get you off to a fast and successful start. Who knows, I might see you and your crew on the trail in a few months. Has to address all 6, of course, but sometimes, like with this excursion, you can address several at once. Also, schedule activities for a 12-month period, and be aware of potential conflicts with other community activities to avoid cancellations. Promote all activities well in advance. Produce a crew newsletter and calendar so crew members and their parents can plan.
Let's get moving, everybody. We've got a lot of ground to cover.
Select a youth chairperson for each activity and an adult consultant from the program capability inventory. Brad is our activity chairperson for this bike trip, and Karen, who you met earlier, is the adult consultant. She owns the bike shop and is a really experienced trail biker. She's been a big help and actually pointed us to this trail system. Oh, one last point. It's a good idea to monitor the program's progress. You know, keep tabs on it as it develops to make sure it's meeting everybody's needs and expectations. Well, this is our program in action. You'll get there too. Just make sure you keep envisioning what it's all about and systematically accomplish your startup agenda. I've got to go, but stick around for a quick review of the 9 steps that'll get you off to a fast and successful start. Who knows, I might see you and your crew on the trail in a few months.